Hi, welcome to Being Mindful. I'm Susan. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and I lead virtual group meditations. In today's meditation, we're doing a bit of a hybrid between a progressive muscle relaxation and a body scan. So, with a body scan, we tend to focus on individual body parts and just notice what's happening without doing anything different with that body part, compared with a progressive muscle scan where we take a body part and we tighten it up as much as we can and kind of hold that and then relax. And that helps us to notice the difference between a tense state and a relaxed state. Sometimes it can be difficult to relax, but if we over tighten a muscle, then it's easier to let it go. What we're doing in this meditation is allowing each body part to move in whatever way feels right, wiggling something or touching it or tightening a muscle if that feels like the right thing to do, and then allowing it to come to rest and noticing the difference in sensation between some sort of movement and then being at rest. So let's get started. So, for a posture, I would say you can be seated in a chair if you'd like to. Sometimes when we're doing body work, it can be easier to lie down on the floor or on a bed being horizontal. So you can choose what works best for you and settle into whatever posture you would like to take. I tend to close my eyes as I already have. And you can close your eyes too if that is comfortable for you, but it's also fine to have them open. Sometimes it can even help us to stay more focused to have our eyes open. So you can choose whatever feels right for today. But let's begin by acknowledging that when we come into a time of meditation, our thoughts may still be elsewhere. So let's just take a moment to notice where the mind wants to be right now. Notice whether those thoughts are reflecting on something that's already happened, or if your mind is trying to prepare you for something that has yet to happen. And then allow those kinds of thoughts to just play in the background as they do. But we're not going to pay as much attention to those right now. They can keep happening. We're keeping our attention on what's happening in the present moment. That's what's in our foreground. So let's begin with the feet. And I'll invite you as we focus on the feet to move the feet. If it feels good to tighten the muscles, you can do that. But allow the toes to wiggle. Maybe swirl the ankle. And then hold it still. And notice the difference in sensation between moving that body part, or in this case, both of them, and when they're still. So you could move a little bit in whatever way you'd like to, tighten muscles if that feels good, and then come to stillness. At your own speed, just noticing the differences in sensation between movement or tightening and coming to rest. And moving up into the calves and the shins. It's probably difficult to move those body parts without moving some other body part. But you can kind of rub the calves, the legs together, or you can tighten these muscle groups. Noticing what you feel and what you don't feel as you allow your observation to rest on these lower legs of ours. Moving and resting, or tightening and relaxing. And then you might move to the knees, touching them together. Shifting muscles. You can even use your hands to touch them. Noticing what you can sense within the knees as fingers move across the skin. And coming up to the thighs. Motion and stillness. Touching with the hands and lifting the hands. Or tightening and relaxing. As we explore, remembering to breathe. We have a tendency, especially when we tighten muscles, to sort of hold the breath. But it's okay to continue breathing as we move and become still. Moving into the area of the buttocks and the groin, especially if we're sitting. This is an area that gets a lot of pressure. And so we can notice what happens as we shift our position, as we tighten the buttocks, engage the pelvic floor. At times, just coming to rest and allowing those muscles, those body parts, to melt into the chair or the floor. Focusing on sensation and what we can feel when we're moving versus coming to rest. Noticing what's happening with thought as we engage in these activities. Whether there's judgment about the practice, some assessment of the body part itself, or the mind just wanting to be elsewhere. Noticing and returning focus to the body in the present moment. Let's come up into the hips. Doing what feels right as far as movement and coming to rest. And let's visit the abdomen. You can use hands from the outside and notice the movement of the hands against the belly. You can engage the belly as you breathe and notice the rise and fall with the intake of breath and the release of breath. You can engage the abs, holding that tightness and then releasing. Alternating between movement and stillness, always noticing. Coming around to the lower back. This experience would be very different if you're sitting in a chair versus lying on the floor. You can adjust your posture. Allow the back to come away from the chair or the floor. You sort of arch the back and notice the sensation in the lower back. And then coming to neutral. As before, you can move your hands to your back, noticing that sensation. If you're on the floor, that provides a little bit of support. Noticing the difference between having hands supporting the lower back or removing them. And coming up to the middle back. Again, engaging muscles or moving the position of the back. And then coming back to neutral, resting. tightening the muscles and then releasing them. And coming around to the front of the body and noticing the chest. This area that houses some really important organs and moves in response to the breath. We can exaggerate those movements, really allowing the chest to expand with the intake of breath. And then coming back to neutral with the out breath. Engaging the muscles and releasing them. We can use hands here as well. And coming up to the shoulders, rolling them and moving them, tightening and releasing. Coming up into the neck. Moving the head to allow a gentle stretch. And then resting. Moving again. And noticing the sensations that come with movement versus stillness. And then let's spend a little time with the head. It's a lot of territory, a lot of components. And you can decide what aspects you would like to have in motion or tighten as you alternate. You can also use the hands to feel the face. And then remove the hands. And notice that neutral space. As we reach the end of this practice, becoming aware once again of where the body is in contact with the ground. Continuing to breathe. moving the body in whatever way would be helpful or comfortable, opening the eyes if they've been closed, lifting the gaze, beginning to acclimate to the space around you. Now we have the opportunity to reflect on the practice. When I lead groups, we do this verbally. People pop up and share what they noticed. That's a little more difficult to do with a recording, so I hope that you'll take a moment to share what you noticed in the comments. If it was a helpful practice for you, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. You can save it if you'd like to do it again to a playlist. And if you're not already subscribed, I hope that you'll take a moment to click on that subscribe button, maybe notifications as well, and that way you can be aware of future meditations that get posted. Here at the end, I'll be sure to leave a link to additional meditations that you might find helpful. Thanks so much and have a great day.